Hi. Most Muslim comedy seems to usually center around the idea of Muslims being possible terrorists, uh, usually dealing with profiling. If I were a Muslim comedian, I think I'd base my Muslim comedy totally on Islamic sources, like the Quran and hadith, and I'd model my comedy on Rodney Dangerfield, who was Jewish. I think I'd be a Muslim Rodney Dangerfield, but make it more universal. I'd say, but as Muslims, we get no respect at all. I mean, whenever I tell non-Muslims that I want to get ahead in the world, they run off screaming. No respect at all. I mean, whoever thought shouting Allahu Akbar in a crowded theater would be worse than shouting fire? No respect, I tell you. We get no respect at all. Did you hear about the camel that always wanted to be the star of shows and movies? It was quite the dromedary. Oh, did you know that in paradise you can completely ignore Quran 434 and not have to beat your wives and virgins? Why? Because they are already black-eyed. Speaking about wives, why do we Muslim men not do foreplay with the wife? Because we want our children to look like us and not our wives. That's an inside joke. If you have to know hadith to understand where I'm coming from there. Speaking about wives, yesterday I was taking my wife to her first kindergarten class, and her teacher asked me if I beat her. Well, I don't beat my wife. Maybe smack her around, but it's not like I'm going to go Bridges TV on her with Quran 1874 to 81 in mind. I tell you, we Muslims, we get no respect at all. Oh, this morning, before I washed my nose out, I sneezed and Satan flew out of it. Satan flew out of my nose. Well, it was either Satan or a booger. I can't really tell for sure. I don't know about you, but if Satan does sleep in my nose at night, I still smell terrible whether I wash him out 3 times or not. Some wise guy asked me if Satan is still sleeping in my nose at night. I said, no, he's not. No, he's not. Okay, that shut him up. Oh, I'm talking about my nose that smells terrible, not myself. Take my camel, please. Oh, why did the Muslim cross the road? He didn't want his 72 virgins just yet when the IED went off. Take my goat, please. Speaking about goats, I think I could kick a goat for knowing that one goat ate away the passage of the Quran that allowed us guys to suckle women's breasts to fight off sexual temptation. Thank you, Mr. Goat. Not only do you eat away part of the Quran, doing the impossible, you kill Mr. Praise be unto him, Muhammad, when he ate a poisoned version of you. Killed our beloved Prophet. It's so impossible if you think about it. It's like Islam has a trinity of its own. Allah, Muhammad, and the Holy Goat. But, hey, Allah knows best, right? Oh, why are Muslims furious that America overthrew Saddam and Gaddafi? Because they can no longer do the greatest jihad by saying sugar is sweet in front of a tyrant, which according to our Prophet is the greatest jihad by saying a truth in the presence of a tyrant is the greatest jihad. Speaking about powerful words from the Prophet, Muhammad said, if any one of you says something objectionable, first try to change it with your hand. If you cannot, then use your tongue. If you still cannot, then use your heart. And the latter, the heart, is the weakest form of faith. Hey, how come you're not laughing? You're not laughing. Maybe I should have had some bongos playing when I recited that, for I have a feeling, Mr. Praise be unto him, was the first beat poet. Truly, the first beat poet. How's this for a powerful saying from a prophet? You have to have some bongos playing in the background for these, because they are very quite deep. Abu Huraira reported that Moses was a modest person. He was a modest Moses. He was never seen naked, and Banu Israel said he was afraid to expose his private part because he had been suffering from scrotal hernia. He one day took a bath in water and placed his garments upon a stone. The stone began to move on quickly. He followed that and struck it with the help of a stone, saying, "O stone, my garment, O stone, my garments, O stone." Yesterday, after I picked up my other wife out of the sandbox, I read that the sun really does ask permission of Allah before it rises again after it sets in a muddy spring, like Quran and hadith teach. Of course, the guy who wrote that said he was not a Muslim, that he was just trying to get us to believe he was another Yusuf Estes so he could get a lot of Saudi money by pretending to be a Christian preacher who converted to Islam. When asked why he said he wasn't a Muslim, that dirty dog said, quote, "Because we are never blood clots as embryos, not even for 40 seconds, let alone 40 days, like the hadith has Muhammad saying." Not even for 40 seconds, he said. Well, I'm not going to get angry at that bastard. In Allah's other book, the Bible, or as the Christians call it, the before scriptures, the Quran says it confirms, and the Quran says confirms and reminds, it says vengeance belongs to Allah. So I'll have Allah get revenge on that kafir. Trouble is, as Quran also says, or as our brother Muslim in the White House calls it, the Holy Quran. Well, as it also says, one day to Allah is 1,000 years of what we count. Yes, one day to Allah is 1,000 years of what we count. So I'll have to do some waiting for Allah to take their revenge. Boy, will I. Yes, I call Allah there. I do call him there and them and those, because Allah shows, I do that to show respect for Allah, being that Allah shows respect to himself by calling himself we and our and us. I know shirk is the worst of things to Allah, but hey, Allah knows best, right? Hey, aren't you glad Muhammad flew the Al-Barak up into heaven to talk Allah down from 50 pers a day to the current 5? Aren't you glad Mr. Praise be unto him, a prophet, flew into heaven after visiting the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem to talk Allah down after listening to Musa, Prophet Musa? I know I'm supposed to say, no, I wish Muhammad didn't talk Allah down from 50 pairs a day to the current 5. But hey, my feet are going to be dirty again, right when I walk out of the mosque. Oh, by the way, why did the boulder carrying clothing crossed the road? Answer: because Allah wanted people to see someone naked running after and attack the running boulder after taking off with his clothes, like what happened to Musa. Yes, Musa. Man, I tell you, we as Muslims, we get no respect. No respect at all. Oh, last week, did you feel the earthquake? Good thing Allah placed down mountains on the earth. Or that giant fish, none, that the earth is spread out on, according to our prophet. Is spread out on, might have really caused some damage here with its agitation. I talked with a brother yesterday to find out what he thought of that shaker, but he said he's more interested in his study of ants. He said he's on the verge of finding out the chemical odors of ants that spells out for an ant. Oh, ants, get to your dwelling places so that you aren't crushed by Solomon and his troops as they perceive not. Like Quran says, an ant calls out to its fellows as described in that surah called the ants. I told him to get back to me when he finds out what all ants smells like. You know, because ants use odor to communicate that way, you know. Yeah. Well, from your laughter I take it that I didn't bomb on stage. I'll save bombing on stage for when I join ISIS while obeying Quran 9:111, 38, and 39. Of course, it might be for nothing if the angel that came to me in the womb had instructions written by Allah telling me in the future that I'll be the one of the residents of hellfire when I'm just one cubit away from Jannah, paradise. Hey, you've been a great audience. Oh, by the way, if I were a female Muslim, I'd just stand there on stage and slobber. When asked why, I'd say, because Muhammad said when he looked into hell, he saw that most of the people in hell were women. Why? One of the reasons, besides having periods, is because we, women, are deficient in intelligence, and I don't want my head sawed off by trying to prove Muhammad wrong about women being deficient in intelligence. You are a great audience. Bye.